What's going on, everybody? My name is Jake and welcome back to more Pokemon Fire Red. Last part we did the introduction and basically the tutorials and opening segments of the game. Obviously included with that is getting our first Pokemon. We chose Charmander, my favorite Pokemon, or at least Pokemon line. Charizard is my favorite Pokemon, but that is his final evolution, so we'll have to wait a while to get to that. But really love our choice for the starter, and we got a lot of battles out of the way. We're going to thug it out with just Charmander in this gym, even though he is weak to the gym leader and the type that they use, which is Rock type. But we learned Metal Claw towards the end of the episode, and Steel type moves are super effective on Rock. I also caught a Mankey. And I mentioned I was going to train it up to a point where it learned a fighting type move, which is low kick. That way, if, worst case scenario, we got to send it out there. Low kick, the damage it does depends on the weight of the Pokemon that is using it on. And coincidentally, the gym leader's best Pokemon is extremely heavy in this game. So if we really need to, low kick is not only super effective on rock types, but also does a ton of damage. Before we get into the gym, in case you were wondering if you could go out east and get some more training done, this guy will stop you and inform you that Brock is looking for more challengers, and he will direct you to the gym with this nice little theme. I realized when I was watching back the recording of the first one that the recorder I was using did not pick up the game audio, and it was also picking up a lot of background noise. So if you hear certain segments of Big Mouth playing in the background, that is why. I'm not ashamed that people know I was watching Big Mouth, but I made sure to not have any background noise for this recording. I like that background noise when I do stuff. It's just kind of how my brain operates. I don't really know. When I was in school, always had background noise when I do homework. Even playing video games, I like to have something else on to occasionally just glance over at. But anyway, this should pick up both the game audio as well as my beautiful voice. No, I'm just kidding. And yeah, I don't have Big Mouth playing this time. Anyway, so Leader Brock, the Rock Style Pokemon Trainer. Walk in here and you can talk to this guy. Hiya, do you want to dream big? Do you dare to dream of becoming the Pokemon champ? I'm no trainer, but I can advise you how to win. Let me take you to the top. Sure. Even if you say no, he will give you advice anyway. And most of the times, the advice he gives really isn't all that helpful. As you see here, Gary is one step ahead of us. That is a common reoccurrence in this game, and is something that really hasn't been replicated in Pokemon games since, is your rival beating you to the gym. And again, I think the old school, rival like Gary, who's not necessarily a companion or friend, and more so there to better you, that's how I prefer it. But yeah. Beating you to the gyms and stuff. As you see here, Charmander is almost level 14. I had to switch train a little bit with Mankey just because we caught at level 3, so such a low level to work with. So Charmander got some experience, and I actually encountered a Pikachu on my way back to Pewter City, going through Viridian Forest, and I tried to catch it, but I used Ember instead of Scratch, which was stupid on my part, and accidentally knocked it out. So I wasn't going to use Pikachu for my team, but I just wanted to catch it since it's really rare. Viridian Forest, but instead we knocked it out and got very close to leveling up from it. But so as you see there, Metal Claw being super effective, but since it's a physical type move, and rock types like Geodude and Onix have very high physical defense, it's not going to do a ton of damage. Now, there is a secondary effect to Metal Claw where if you use it, it does have a chance to raise your attack, so I'm really hoping for a buff from that. If not, I mean, we should still be fine. Really, my main worry is just getting hit with rock type moves. I know his Onix has Rock Tomb. I don't know if his Geodude does, but I guess we'll find out. Let's just get right into it, honestly. There's no real reason to build up to it anymore. So you're here, I'm Brock, I'm Pewter's gym leader. My rock hard willpower is evident even in my Pokemon. My Pokemon are all rock hard and have true good determination. Okay. Alright. You freaking pedo. I'm 10. Well, in this universe, I'm 10. Fwahaha, you're going to challenge me knowing that you lose. That's your trainer's honor that compels you to challenge me. Fine then, show me your best. Alright, so our first gym battle with Gym Leader Brock. He's going to open up with a Geodude similar to that first battle we encountered. And I'm just going to go right at it. No point in really trying to lower its stats at this point. Okay, it's using Tackle, which is obviously fantastic. Don't want that. Okay, uses Defense Curl. Yeah, so now this is not gonna really do a whole lot, but okay, we should still be able to knock it out with the next hit. Please give me an attack buff. I'm begging you. Give me an attack buff. Okay, so we take out the Geodude fairly easy. It's a little bit more damage than what we normally would have had we not missed. But we do get an extra level. And so now our Charmander actually out-levels this Onix. I know it knows Rock Tomb, so I'm surprised it led with Tackle there, because Rock Tomb is going to be super effective on us. We do about a quarter of its health with Metal Claw. And now we outspeed it, so I think I mentioned that before, that Onix actually has pretty good speed. And seeing how Rock types are generally slow, makes it kind of rare in that case. Now we're one hit away, and now we get the damage buff when it really doesn't even matter. And I don't know if this is just dumb luck or what, but I just had to jinx it. I had to jinx it. I had to jinx it. It wouldn't be a Pokemon playthrough without me jinxing it. Okay, hopefully Tackle does not take us out. It shouldn't. Okay, yeah. So, not how I wanted it to go, because I wanted Charmander to get the experience, but again, that's why I caught the Mankey and leveled it up to a point where it knew a fighting type move, in case we got to that point, so. Well, that sucks that Charmander doesn't get those levels, but yeah, it is what it is. Okay, as proof of your victory, I confer on you this, the official Pokemon League Boulder Badge. So, speed is kind of a funny thing. I'm guessing we had the same speed as Onix, and we were just winning the draw up until we tried to use Ember. But, I mean, we got the win. It doesn't matter. A win is a win. Basically saying now you can use the HM for Flash, but you have to have the HM... Or, sorry, you can use Flash outside of battle, but you have the HM to actually use it. So he's going to give us TM39. In these games, TMs are only good for one use, is what he's explaining. He gives us Rock Tomb, which he just had to pull out at the very end and knock out my Charmander. But in the original games, he gave you the TM for Bide, which is not a Rock-type move at all. So kind of funny for him to give you that, but... Alright, so our Lonely Nature Mankey pulls through for us when we desperately need it. I like to play these games and try to challenge myself to not lose a battle, to really encompass that Pokemon champion, unbeatable type thing. So I would have been really discouraged had I not chose to pick up that Mankey and lost in that type of fashion. So. As much as it sucks to not get Charmander that experience, it's not the end of the world by any means. This guy's asking, as he stands in a giant D-pad, if we've checked out the museum. No, we have not, so yeah, that battle went fairly quick. And again, I'm just going to go up to Mount Moon. We're not going to go through Mount Moon just because that'll take a little bit. So this is definitely probably going to be a shorter episode in comparison to the last, but we can go through the museum really quick. It's $50 for a child's ticket. Yeah, sure. So this is just a space museum. So in here, an Aerodactyl fossil. That Pokemon's really, really good. Remember that? I think I can see the ones over there. Aerodactyl is not a dragon type. It's rock flying, you dummy. Neither is Kabutops. It's rock water. Neither of these Pokemon are dragon types. So I don't know what you're smoking, buddy. Yeah, Pikachu soon, I promise. I want a Pikachu, it's so cute. Well, just go like 20 steps south and you'll be able to encounter one. Space Shuttle. That Space Shuttle in the original games was named after... I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but it was a Space Shuttle that crashed, so they changed it in the remake. We get the Moonstone, which we'll actually encounter a couple of those here when we get to Mount Moon. This guy's like, what's so great about the Moonstone? It looks like an ordinary rock. July 20th, 1969, humankind's first set foot on the moon that day. I bought a color TV just so I can watch the news. Yeah, well, that was kind of ironic of you because the footage was in black and white, so you spent all that extra money to see it in color, and it wasn't in color. And whatever side of the moon landing conspiracy you land on, there's no denying that it was recorded in black and white, so obviously he would get future use out of a color TV, but if you bought it solely to see the moon landing in color, you were sorely mistaken. But I don't know why. Why am I healing? I don't know. I think I'm just trained my brain when I play these games to just naturally go to Pokemon Center. I don't know. But anyway, with that out of the way, now we can head east out of Pewter City. Or stop by a scientist. Oh, Jake, glad I caught up to you. I'm one of Professor Oak's aides. I've been asked to deliver this, so here you go. And we get the running shoes from the aide. Finally, this was a feature introduced in Generation 3. Obviously, there's bicycles in the Gen 1 and 2 games, but here's a pair of running shoes. Challenger, remember, I'll always shoot for you. Don't ever give up. From Mom. Thank you. And that's like the only interaction you get with your mom outside of just going home and her telling you to take a nap. So now we can run around, which is obviously very good. I want to avoid trainer battles as best as I can because I actually plan on catching Pokemon here. Now, some of these are unavoidable, like this bug trainer right here. Hey, I saw you in Viridian Force. Well, if so, then we encountered for like a total of 5 seconds because I just swept through everything in there, and it's going to be the same case here as we go from fighting Pokemon that are equal level to us with type advantages to much lower level bug type Pokemon. And I'm probably going to have Charmander evolve here. Maybe not from this battle, but certainly in one of the ones following it. So that'll be cool to have our first evolution. We're going to get it from this battle. Maybe. That's going to be really close. Yep, there we go. Level 16. So, just our second part into this, and we're going to have our starter evolve. So obviously anyone who's played this game knows how evolutions work. Your Pokemon evolve into, well, in this case, a middle stage. Stats will go up. Typing stays the same. It does not gain the flying subtype until it fully evolves into Charizard. So now we have Charmeleon. Okay, I want to get through this. Let me fight the last. Oh, I really fucked that up. I was trying to keep the bug catcher available to fight off camera for the Pokemon I'm going to catch, just because bug catchers are generally the easiest NPCs to fight. But now I'm going to fight both of them inadvertently, so that's awesome. I mean, not that it's a bad thing to get Charmeleon extra experience, because the next gym is another typing that's super effective on fire type, water. And so, even though Charmeleon is not going to be very helpful in the gym fight, it's still good to get the levels so that if we do have to send them out there to, you know, be a buffer for one of our other Pokemon to heal or whatever it might be, at least it could probably stand up to a hit if it's at a certain level. Of course, yeah, I really wanted to save this. I guess I could have left the route or like gone off screen and then came back and then the NPCs would have reset, but that's whatever. I'm not going to make that kind of effort just to save 4 level 9 bug Pokemon for our new team member. It's another reason I wanted to switch up the team I use on these games, because like I said in the first part, I always start with Charmander first off. But I always catch a Mankey to, you know, be the second team member. And not that there's anything wrong with Mankey, but I just kind of want to switch it up. The amount of times I've played this game, it gets kind of monotonous using the same team every time. And I figured if I'm going to make a Let's Play out of it, might as well, you know, switch things up and try something new. And the Pokemon I plan on catching is something that I had used frequently before, but kind of got away from it in previous playthroughs. But it's one of my favorite Pokemon, so as much as I want to put together really good teams for these playthroughs, I also want to make sure I'm catching Pokemon that I like, even if they're not always the best, or, you know, I want to catch Pokemon that I have rarely used before. Again, even if they're not super great. I'm not trying to put together an online competitive team here. Obviously one that is good enough to beat the game, but, you know, my EVs and my IVs and my type matchups and everything might not be optimal, but that's okay. So I want to go ahead, actually, before I get too far into this, go ahead and switch our boy up front. And it is not a Pidgey. You probably could have assumed that because we've ignored about 20 Pidgeys at this point. Now, if this takes me a boatload of encounters, I'll cut away and then come back when I encounter the Pokemon before. We'll go through a few here. You also get to see what you can encounter. Pretty much the same as the other routes that we've been through in this game. You'll find Spearows, Mankeys, or sorry, well, you might be able to find Mankeys out here. The Spearows, Pidgeys. I believe you can find Jigglypuffs in this patch of grass, but I could be wrong on that. Alright, come on. No Spearow. I don't... How many Spearows in a row is that? 3, 4? I don't want you. Alright, I'll give it 2 more encounters if I don't find. And I'm also trying to avoid this girl because that is a trainer, and that would be... Okay, yeah, you can find Mankeys. Sorry, we're seeing double. And no, it's not Jesse and James. Come on. No. Okay. Pidgey, so... Alright, one more. This next one's the special. The special encounter. It's going to be the Pokemon I'm looking for right here. It is another Pidgey. Okay, I'm going to cut away and then... Because I can't remember the rarity of the Pokemon I'm looking for, but maybe it's lower than what I thought. I thought you could find them fairly frequently. At least in this version of the game. But yeah, I guess not. Alright, so I'll cut away and be back once I find... Oh my gosh, of course. The first encounter after I cut away, I find the Pokemon I'm looking for, so here we go. Turns out I didn't have to cut away at all. But yeah, it is a Nidoran male. You can find Nidoran male and female in this patch of grass, although you can only find Nidoran female 1% of the time here in Fire Red. The flip side of that, you can only find Nidoran male 1% of the time here in Leaf Green. Both are good Pokemon. Nidoran male is more offensive, and I've always tend to use the male counterparts more often just because of the better attack stats and everything. But I'm going to go ahead and... Oh gosh, that was a little too close for comfort there, but winds up being perfect. So yeah, I'm going to try to catch this, and this will actually be our first official team member. I know we have a Mankey, but that's not going to be a permanent member of the team. Nidoran will be. There we go, first try. We catch ourselves a Nidoran male. Poison Pen Pokemon, 1'8", 20 pounds. Its large ears are flat like wings when it is listening to distant sounds. It extends toxic barbs when anchored. Yeah, Nidoran male. The Nidoran family in general is one of my favorite Pokemon, but they're also pretty good. And I used to use Nidoran a lot more often, but I kind of got away from it in previous playthroughs just to try to use other Pokemon, but wanted to get back to using a Nidoran male again. I like the Nidoran family. They're very useful Pokemon. It gains a ground subtyping when it fully evolves, so that'll help us with taking on electric types and also rock types as well, and steel, although I don't know if we encounter any steel types that don't have levitate in this game. I'm going to head and use a potion. I could easily just go back and heal at the Pokemon Center, but before we go to Mount Moon and cut this video off, we might as well do a Pokemon battle with our new team member. And no, I did not touch you, last Robin. Alright, so we're severely out-leveled here against the Jigglypuff, so unfortunately for me, it's going to be mostly switch training off camera, but hopefully by the point I get to Mount Moon, I'm not going to do any, oh, we get a burn. Burn will cut your opponent's attack stat in half, as well as do damage after every turn. It's actually a really, really useful stats infliction. It's just kind of rare to get. And right away we get a level up for Nidoran. It's very nice there. Oh, I didn't even check its nature because I'm a super optimal scientific trainer. And conveniently, I have my laptop next to me again, so I might as well search up the natures and see what stat effects we have from our Nidoran. So he is a gentle nature. I don't think that bodes well for attack. No, gentle is raise special defense and lower defense. Okay. Well, when you consider poison's weaknesses like psychic and ground, I believe. What is it? Yeah, I think psychic and ground. That could be useful for facing psychic types. But also some of the types it'll face, it also gains a ground subtype, so it'll be weak to water, so that could help with that. You know, types that it's neutral against that we'll be facing with Nidoran, like fire. Eventually it'll gain immunity to ground, or sorry, electric types. So yeah, that's not great, but it's not a bad nature at all. It's kind of similar to how Charmander's nature worked out. But yeah, so let's just go ahead and get up to Mount Moon. This guy right here is not a trainer. Tunnel from Cerulean takes a lot out of you. I thought there was an item over there, but apparently not. So further up this path, a couple NPCs up here. Real quick, if you see this little patch of grass, kind of looks strange from the other ones. If you click there, you usually find berries. This one's a Persian berry. It helps cure confusion. Little tip there. So we are here at the entrance of Mount Moon. I'm going to go ahead and heal up because I'm going to train off camera. Yes, I would like you to heal my Pokemon back to perfect. So now, I was already planning on switch training Nidoran against that Jigglypuff, so I completely wasted that potion. Oh well. What do you want? Okay, so 6 Pokeballs in my belt. Yeah, that'll do it, unless you can have 6 Pokemon with you. Yeah, that is true. Talk to this guy. He looks pretty inconspicuous. Hello there, laddie. Have I got just the deal for you? I'll let you have a secret Pokemon, a Magikarp, for just 500 Pokedollars. So you'll buy it, am I right? No, although I'm not opposed from buying a level 5 Magikarp and painfully switch training it because all it knows is Splash up until it learns Tackle level 15, because the payoff for a Gyarados at level 20 is absolutely awesome. I have another water type in mind later in the game that I want to use. Again, I think Gyarados is a good Pokemon, and I might look to use one in future games, but yeah, not in my plans for this game. But yeah, there's a water type later in the game that I use very, very frequently, and with good reason, because it's awesome. Again, I kind of talked about how I wanted to switch up the teams, but I'm also not opposed to using Pokemon that I like and have used before and know that they're viable. So anyway, that'll do it for this part. So we got our first gym badge, which, speaking of which, we can look on it in our lovely trainer card. Pretty awesome, am I right? Yeah, we're looking pretty intimidating right there. 1 badge down, 7 to go. Got an evolution of our starter, our first evolution of the game. Charmeleon, very good offensive stats, love to see it. Caught ourselves a Nidoran, who I'm very excited to be using once again. It's been a while since I've used a Nidoran. Excited to have it. And our Mankey, who was just a filler Pokemon for now, came through for us very clutch-like in the end. So glad that we ended up taking that route and kind of having that safety option. So that'll do it for this part. In the next part, we'll go through Mount Moon and make our way to Cerulean City. Just pulling it up on the town map real quick here. So Mount Moon, Cerulean City is where the next gym is. There's a lot to do, a lot more to do in Cerulean City at least than in Pure City. So that'll take a little bit longer before we get the next gym badge. But getting through Mount Moon is the biggest obstacle in the way. So that'll be for next part. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.